Hey there, this is going to be sort of a weird edit because after I'm done with this, then I'll get to the actual review. It's just after I got done recording, I found some information on this film which I thought was kind of interesting, and that's what this project at first was going to be. Shadow Man was actually going to be Shadows of the Sun, and it was being written by Bey Logan. Now, Bey Logan, he's a guy who knows a lot about Hong Kong culture and Hong Kong movies, and in fact, there's a lot of films that have a Bey Logan audio commentary. Some Jackie Chan films and John Woo films and so forth. And he had written an entirely different plot from this one. The plot he had written, it was going to be a period piece with Steven Seagal, meaning that he was going to play an intelligence officer who runs a medical clinic in Japan after World War II. By September 2005, he was no longer involved, Bey Logan. He was no longer involved, and the script was being penned by Joe Halpin, who wrote a lot of Steven Seagal direct-to-video films, including Submerged and Today You Die. And so it got turned into another crappy as hell, forgettable Steven Seagal movie, which I'll get more into it, but if I'm just basing it on the back of the DVD, ex-CIA operative, ex-CIA, it's always the CIA, who must unravel a lethal web of espionage to save his daughter and stop a deadly virus from falling to enemy hands. And when rogue operatives within the CIA smuggle a lethal virus out of the U.S. and use ex-intelligence officer Jack Foster as their courier, they have no idea of the fury they're about to unleash. Jack takes his daughter on a trip to Europe where she's kidnapped by a mysterious foreign agent. Now to save her and take down her kidnappers, Jack must blast his way into shadowy world of international espionage. So, Shadows on the Sun, an intelligence officer who runs a medical clinic in Japan after World War II. To the grandpa of Seagal's granddaughter, the grandpa took out a virus, and they're in Europe, and the daughter gets kidnapped, and Seagal goes through the motions, and you have some... You know what, let's just cut to the review that I had recorded. I'll get into that. But you went from kind of an interesting, very different idea, and you got turned into the same old fucking horse shit. Of course. Hey folks, it's Matt once again. And like I mentioned in the Mercenary for Justice review, there's this website that I had seen once before and I forgot about. I found it again, stevenseagal.net. And I know I'm reviewing Shadow Man, which I'll get to. But it was a website where a person collected all the interviews that people who had worked with Seagal throughout the years. Whether it be Black Dawn, where the director talked about how the reason Seagal wasn't involved in any fight scenes because he didn't want to. And talked about how Seagal was morose and moody. Again, that's from the director of Black Dawn. And there's other stories. Well, Shadow Man with director Michael Keusch, apparently for him working with Seagal was a nightmare as well. It seems like a pattern that working with Seagal is a nightmare. Michael Keusch did 3 movies with Seagal. He did this film, he did Fly of Fury, and he did Attack Force. He said he enjoyed working with Seagal the most on their first picture, but the notoriously difficult to work with star tested the director's patience from trying to shoot the beginning, which was a martial arts demonstration, which he mentioned Dim Mak and Deft Touch, and the director's like, I don't know, it seems a little bit ridiculous, you breaking a watermelon from the inside. And Seagal looked at him deadly serious and talks about how, it's a real thing, it could kill a man, and then, I could think of at least 6 different ways to kill you right now. So the director was scared of Seagal. And then all the horror that went into Attack Force, which I should say that for the Attack Force because that'll be coming up. I think that's actually next. Yeah, that is next. Well, Flight of Fear, well, yeah, that is next because Attack Force is 2006. So I guess I'll save it for that. But even Flight of Fury, they were borrowing entire scenes from other films. Stock footage. And Seagal was like, well, why can't we use real aerial shots and planes to shoot? And well, the producers, it's going to the pockets of producers some of the money. Director compromised with the producers and borrowed stock footage. And honestly, he just didn't want to shoot shit with Seagal by the time I got to the end of it. Started as a dream, became a nightmare. Towards the end, we wouldn't even look at each other. I'd just say action and cut. So, yeah, this director, even though he did 3 films, and Attack Force, apparently, it got so bad that the director, get the exact quote, he became addicted to painkillers and Valium shooting the film. Yeah. You know what? Actually, watching the film makes you want to do that, let alone working on them. So, as Michael Keusch, 3 really bad Steven Seagal films, but apparently a lot of shit was going on behind the scenes of these movies. So, but it does start it off at the beginning with these mice being tested while a guy's running away, and you realize that the guy is actually the grandpa of Seagal's daughter. I'm not sure if Seagal's wife has passed away and it's his wife's dad, I'm guessing, but that guy, old guy, has a virus. He's got a virus in a tube. Meanwhile, Seagal's teaching people about their chi and the dim mak, and like he hits one guy and the guy flies back, hits a wall, looks like he's dead. He's like, it could be externally like that, or it could be internally, hits a watermelon, the watermelon implodes. Like, it looks fine, but on the other side, it's like exploded from the inside to the back. Which I just see what the director means by, it does seem silly. I mean, hell, I love Bloodsport when he does that. But even that's not as silly as, the watermelon things. I just see what the director is talking about. And also, like it says there, the scene was so hard to shoot that Seagal wouldn't finish it, and the director had to wrap up the scene with extras and a stuntman who resembles Seagal. And it's true. You could tell it's a double, so most of the actual fighting is a double, because Seagal's too fucking lazy and a fat ass, and a lazy fat fuck, and a lazy piece of shit to do his own fucking fight scenes. As I read all these fucking stories about it, I wish I would have looked at this website sooner for stories on other films. But that's the kind of guy he is. He thinks his shit doesn't stink, and his shit stinks as much as a fucking manure farm. What's a manure farm? Places where Seagal shits at, because he has enough shit to build an entire fucking country out of. That's how much bullshit Seagal's full of. And guess what? The product speaks for itself. Part of me wonders if I should be blaming the directors. I should be blaming Seagal for this shit. Oh, it's too hard. I don't want to do this scene. And even the director mentioned, it was my idea to do this scene in the dojo because it was a nod to his first movie, Above the Law. And whatever ideas you have, I like to hear. And then Seagal came up with that dim mak, or the death touch. I'm like, I've seen that before, Seagal. It's from Bloodsport. As much as you hate Bloodsport, Bloodsport did it before and did it better. The dim mak. And Jackson going, yeah! And then takes the brick and smashes it against his head. Fucking shit. But you have that opening, pretty much fucked up by Seagal. And then you had the grandpa was the guy with the virus, hides in Seagal's Palm Pilot. And you have this one scene that seems random where there's a girl with Seagal, and I don't think we ever see her again. She gets naked, shows her bare ass, and Seagal goes, "Oh yeah, I got it. Oh yeah, I got it," and goes to her. Whether that was part of his salary. I must do that. Part of his contract, I should say, or both. And the movie itself is just a very forgettable movie. Forgettable film. It's the best way to put it. And again, I know in the past I've been knocking the directors, but again, I wonder if I should be knocking over this fat fuck piece of lard. Oh, you're being mean. Well, you know what? This guy's treating everybody like an asshole. Someone should treat him like shit for a change. This guy's never been humbled. At least Van Damme has been humbled. You watch him in the past 10 years, you could tell Van Damme has gotten fucking humbled. You could tell. Easily in interviews and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, his daughter gets taken. The grandpa supposedly dies in a car explosion. You get in this boring car chase with some shaky cam. A guy on a motorcycle crashes a little bit. Seagal and this other car crashing against each other, and he loses the car that his daughter has been taken. And Seagal has no fucking emotion with his fucking daughter being taken. It's like, hey, your daughter got taken. Can you show some emotion? Again, watch Van Damme in Wake of Death when his wife died. Watch that, and then compare it to shit like this. You know, boring car chase. There's one more where Seagal's locked in a room, and he makes a trap when bad guys go in. An old record player is playing. A guy takes it off, and this tube comes out and impales the guy. Little trap. And Seagal has sort of a zip gun with like shotgun shells. He does this. Shoots people with it like it was a shotgun. Makes one guy shoot himself. The ambassador of the embassy, U.S. Embassy, is an actress named Imelda Staunton, who's an Oscar nominee for a film called Vera Drake. And apparently she has gone on to say how pretty much most of the time she didn't even see Seagal. It was just stand-ins and doubles. Although there is one scene I see them in the sequence together at the end of the flick. So it could have been all the time because there's one scene where they're together in the same shot. It's just weird. You get nominated for an Oscar, and the next film you get to do is this straight-to-DVD Seagal film. Yeah, it shows just how worthless the fucking Oscars are. Whether you're winning or nominated. Seagal meets with one of the guys who betrayed him. That guy gets shot, and Seagal shoots another guy. The woman who kidnapped his daughter actually saved her from getting hurt. And she was a secret agent in London, and she's actually a good person. And she had taken Seagal's daughter to keep her safe. And she has a little history that her family was killed before. You have this laughable scene where Seagal goes into a cab, and he literally goes, "I want you to take me someplace where I can find some drugs and some women." That's literally what he says. "I want you to take me someplace where I can find some drugs and some women." It goes to the fucking club. Well, not really a club. It goes to this house. You get like one little decent scene out the other where Seagal takes a guy, smashes him through this glass table. It's a decent scene. He's kicking folks, taking them and smashing them into a cupboard. I'm not going to call it great. I thought it was decent compared to the shit I've seen lately. It was a decent scene. And there's this guy with a mask. And Seagal went, "Why does he wear the mask?" And other guys go, "Oh, it was a freebasing accident." And Seagal like takes the mask off. And he's like, "That's not a freebase accident. That's syphilis. I just... Okay. Goes to this club, meets a woman who kidnapped his daughter, wants to know where she's at, of course. And you have some Russians and more that also want the virus. As a plot that's trying to get complicated, like The Foreigner and Black Dawn and so forth. Murky plot lines. Probably because the script kept fucking changing, because it's Seagal or producers or both. It's a consistent theme. That's why so many of these movies are shit. And the female who kidnapped Seagal's daughter to help her is now working with Seagal. There's a point where she kills a cop accidentally, and then she's like, oh my god, I killed a cop, and Seagal goes, if you didn't kill her, she might have killed us. Well, I'm glad that settles it, Seagal. I'm glad that explains everything. That makes everything alright then, Seagal. If you didn't kill her, we'd be dead. It's alright, good job, Seagal. Yep. That makes it alright. That makes it cool. Okay then. Okie dokie. And I'm thinking, why isn't she taking Seagal straight to where his daughter's at? In fact, instead they stop at a fucking place so that she can kind of get sad. Then she takes her shirt off so her bra is showing. And then she sits by Seagal. And then Seagal goes, you know, you want to make people think you're ice cold. But you're soft. You're sensitive. Come here, babe. And hugs her. I go, why isn't this girl just taking Seagal to really... Wouldn't Seagal go, no, we're not stopping. Take me to my fucking daughter now. I want to know where she's at. We're not stopping at this hotel, apartment, wherever the fuck we're at. Why are we stopped here? Why did you take off your shirt so your bra is showing and then sit next to me? Because it seems like we don't get it on. You know, if a woman takes off her shirt and there's a bra and then sits down to me, I'm thinking we're going to fuck. I'm sorry if my mind goes in the gutter, but I think I would have a leniency of my mind going down that route. Unless she's just a cock tease. And when Seagal's saying, come here, babe, now he's just calling people babe. A person who kidnapped your daughter, and I guess you trust her because you can see into her heart. So, yeah. Can you see into my heart, Seagal, and what I think of you in these fucking movies? And I still enjoy many of his older films. But this direct-to-DVD shit, especially from really Half Past Dead, which went to theaters, but The Foreigner, 2003 to net, 99.9% of them are pure dog shit. And all these behind-the-scenes stories I read is like, I fucking wonder why. Seagal, just direct the fucking movies yourselves. That's why I don't get just... So many of these movies, you have problems. Just direct the fucking movie yourself. Just direct the fucking movies yourself. Please, then. So you don't give directors fucking migraines as if they want to fucking take painkillers and Valium. Shit. And this movie I'm struggling to review because the title kind of fits shadow. Because it's... What's a shadow? If there's a shadow on a person, you can't really see them. If there's a shadow on a person's face, you can't really see his face. This is a movie that you might as well be foggy. Foggy man. You chase one or two words and you get what I mean by what else I could call it, but foggy man. So Shadow Man. Because everything's just a fog. Even after you watch it, I'm like, did I watch Shadow Man? Did I actually watch this? Oh yeah. His daughter's kidnapped. Couple little fight scenes. Shaky cam. Boring car chase. Female kidnapped your daughter, but is really used to be a secret agent. Did it to keep your daughter safe. All to do with this virus. Of course, Then the next day they go there and the girl's gone. Little girl's gone. One thing leads to another, and this fucking chopper is chasing Seagal and the girl, and Seagal and the woman, and it's a helicopter. Seagal, with a pistol, shoots it, and the helicopter blows up in CGI fashion. And he shot maybe 5 or 6 shots. Pow, 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 pow. And the helicopter's going ape shit, and it explodes in CGI fashion. If there's one scene that epitomizes the movie, it's that scene. Blows up a chopper with a fucking pistol and just CGI explosion. Talks with the ambassador, and they're like, where's the virus? And Seagal just goes, I pass it around. It's decimated. And I'm thinking, it was that easy to get rid of the virus? What the hell does that mean, you passed it around? You passed it from your mouth to your ass and colon? What the fuck does you mean? You decimated it. You pass around like, you did this? Is that what it takes to get rid of this virus? You did this? I know there was one line of dialogue, if you did this and the chip or something would fuck her up. I didn't know that was the virus. I'm like, I don't care anymore. The finale, they're in a library. The bad guys have his daughter. One guy gets shot through the face and gets shot in the head. Seagal hits one guy in the nuts and shoots him. There's a Mexican standoff with 2 guys, and I think Seagal like gouges one guy's eyes out. You find out that the grandpa is really the bad guy, and I'm thinking, he's the grandpa though. Like, he doesn't really give much of why. I mean, I can't remember. It must not be Seagal's dad. It must be Seagal's wife's dad. I mean, it's a grandpa because the guy keeps saying, where's my granddaughter? I want to see my granddaughter. And Seagal says a line like, it ain't over until the wolf howls. And then they bring back the dim mock where the guy has Seagal gun right here, and Seagal does this and does this, and the guy flies back, hits the wall, slides down, and there's a spot of blood. So I guess his internal organs out the back of the and then the secret, the female's okay, the daughter's okay. Seagal buys the daughter a horse, of course. And I'd rather watch Mr. Ed. I don't know what the hell I could say about Shadow Man. I mean, that's why I had to talk about this history, because fucking shit. I'm sorry I'm being silent. It's just... this is literally one of the more forgettable of the Seagal films. It's not silly shit. It's just outright forgettable. It's such a forgettable movie that if you saw the movie and I quizzed you, well, now that you saw this review, it wouldn't work, but if you had not seen this film for like a year, maybe the only thing you remember, oh, maybe Seagal shot a chopper with his pistol and it blew up in CGI. And I think his daughter was kidnapped. Or was that Belly of the Beast? That's another film. His daughter was kidnapped. I swear there's another one later on where his daughter is kidnapped. The Keeper or Driven to Kill, or maybe not. If there is, I'm sure I will come across it. So I'm just sending this longer than it should be. Fuck it. Shadow Man, Seagal, just be a shadow, please. Be a shadow and get the fuck out of movies. Because obviously you treat directors like shit. I mean, I know stories are stories, and I wasn't there. I wasn't the fly on the wall. But sometimes you hear enough shit and you go, maybe, just maybe. Later.